Joe, can you tell us about what you do at Universal Robot?
So I am the head of marketing for Universal Robots here in North America. I'm also part of the leadership team globally because we actually try to do a fair amount of cross-sharing of ideas around the world, and it's been a really good assignment so far. I've been here 4 years, and I came to UR from the traditional side of the market. I got 40 years in industrial robots on the traditional side.
Awesome, and we've seen the UR robots around for a while, so how do you see them impacting the industry right now?
Well, I think the evolution to me is always very interesting. You know, UR started in machine tending, material handling. It's where every robot company starts. That's the entry point for all applications. And what we've done over the past 3 or 4 years is start to evolve into these process-heavy applications like welding, cutting, grinding, material removal, dispensing, and I think it's just picking up speed. Right now, welding is the fastest growing segment in UR from an application standpoint, and I think the US is actually leading that charge.
And why is that?
Well, there's a number of drivers. There's a number of product features that have facilitated it, and I think your product is a great example. It's been well engineered. It is extremely easy to grasp and understand for straightforward applications. But behind that, the real driver is the labor shortage in manufacturing, and welding may be among the worst areas to suffer from this. The AWS reports that the average age of a welder is 55 and up. Right, which means they're 8 to 10 years from retirement. That's a challenge. It is really difficult to attract younger generations into the welding field to put the helmet on and be under the hood all day and weld. And so it's a perfect place for collaborative technology, and I think that's fueling the growth.
Excellent. And like we see that new technology coming in the manufacturing floor, welders are seeing that coming. Some of them might be restrictive to it a little bit. So how can we make that technology more of a tool for them or make them accept it as?
Well, I think there's a couple things. I think what UR does with the UR Online Academy is a big breakthrough, right? For a shop owner, they don't have to invest to send their team to training. They can actually give them a link to the online training, and in that environment they can really get familiar very quickly with the UR technology. And then I think the kind of demos that you guys are doing are fantastic. You demystify it. You can take from somebody from the start to finish. Here's your part, we're going to program it, and now we're going to weld. And that goes a long way to taking the, kind of the fear and uncertainty out of the process.
So making the robotics aspect of welding more accessible to people who knows about welding, welders.
Absolutely. And I think the second point is, deep on the product side, the whole collaborative nature of our product line really helps that story. If you look at traditional automation, everything's behind a cage, everything's gated and interlocked, and you're basically sending a message to the workforce is, this is dangerous, be afraid of it. Right? Our message is very different. This is approachable and friendly. You can work with it. You can work next to it. You can engage it.
Excellent. And what advice would you give a shop owner if they are struggling to get their welders on board in adopting the cobot?
I think the best approach is one that I know you guys take. It's like, hey, bring us all the parts that your welders don't like to weld. Right? And welders want job satisfaction like all of us, right? And they don't get it from those really simple parts that they have to produce hundreds of a day, right? And so the message we hear quite a bit is just bring us the parts your welders don't want to weld. We'll show you how we can automate them, and that lets you move your welders to a higher value assignment.
Excellent. So having that, what I'm seeing as well is that we can have the cobot as a tool for the welders so that they actually produce more, but they are the owner of those welds.
Correct.
Even
it is not a replacement. It is absolutely not a replacement, and that's a really strong message. And I think, again, I take the 55-year-old welder who's been in the business for 25 or 30 years. He's looking at 10 more years under the hood or 10 more years running a fleet of robots. That's a pretty easy choice, I think. And we see that happening again and again.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and
Me too.
enjoy the rest of the show.
We're going to be busy. Thank you, folks.